Lesson 8.4, Solve Division and Multiplication Equations. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to solve multiplication equations as well as division equations. But first, we need to talk about some vocabulary. The first one is the division property of equality. It pretty much states that if you're going to be dividing on one side of a problem, you would have to do the same to the other. Or in multiplication, if you're going to multiply something on the left side of an equation, you have to do the same to the other side. It's all about having balance, hence the word equality in these terms. And here are some examples. If I were to divide the left side by 6, I would have to divide the right side by 6. Because if you notice, 18 divided by 6 gives you 3. So I need to keep that balance. I need to keep that equal. Otherwise, it's not true. So if you divide the other side by 6, it's still a true statement. 3 equals to 3. Same thing on the other side using algebra, right? If I were to divide the left by 3 and the right by 3, it makes my statement true. Because if you were to go back and put that 4 in the equation, it would be true. 3 times 4 is 12. Now with multiplication, it's the same thing. If you're going to multiply one side by, let's say, 6, you would have to do the other side by 6 also to keep things balanced. In algebra, if you look at that division problem right there, if I were to multiply the left side by 4, you're left with the letter x all by itself. It cancels it out. And you'd have to go back and revisit the old lessons that, state pretty much a number times its reciprocal would equal to 1 or 2, would cancel it out. So if I do the same to the right side, 7 times 4, you have 28. And if you put that 28 back in the original equation, it makes it a true statement. So let's practice. In this multiplication problem, you have 6 times x equals 24. So the opposite of multiplication would be division. So we'd have to divide to get rid of that 6. So if you do 6 divided by 6, it's gone. On the right side, if you do 24 divided by 6, your value is 4. So x equals to 4. But let's check it. If we were to put that 4 in there, 6 times 4, does it equal to 24? Yes, it does. So if you go back and look at the word problem, to answer their question, the greenhouse is 4 feet wide. Let's look at some division. In order to get rid of that 6 and keep your variable isolated, you would have to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. And in this particular word problem, we're talking about the weight of an object on the moon as compared to the earth. So if you need to, make sure you pause and take some time to read it. So if we multiply it, cancels out that 6, but you have to do the same to the right side. And when you do, if you do 35 times 6, you end up with 210 pounds. And in our final example, they want you to create a real-world problem, and I'm providing you a sample here, but you have to use the equation that's given to you right there. Now, how do we solve this equation? Would we multiply or divide? If you said multiply, you are correct, because it's a division problem, so you do the opposite. And make sure you do the same to the other side. When you do that, you're left with r equals to 136. So the sample they're giving you here is they're saying, Carla should buy 136 inches of ribbon, and if you graph it, it would look like that, a point on the number 136. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the section below.